if you're new here, I'm RosieJulia, and this is RJOTG, also known as RosieJulia on the Go. It has been over a week, guys, since the last podcast episode, so that is insane that I went like 10 days without doing an episode. I've been doing this pretty much non-stop, so just, having a break from doing the podcast was nice, but at the same time, I had 2 birthday parties, so I'm exhausted as hell. I'm exhausted. So exhausted. So, I think I'm going to take the weekend off, Sunday and Monday, so that'll be fun. Yeah, guys, so this podcast episode was supposed to be a mystery. We have special guest, well, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Kelouyi. Well, I call you Kelouyi, but I don't know how to say your username, girl. I'm so sorry. I call you Kelouyi, though, because you're my bestie. So, guys, our special guest is actually one of my best friends on here. So, I don't think I've actually had one of my best friends as a special guest before. So, this is the first time, guys. All of my other special guests have been people that, new, like they're new or like I know them sort of, like no one that's like I'm close to, you know what I mean? So I'm really happy to have someone who I'm close to be a special guest on here. And she's going to be able to share some really spooky things. I'm not into the paranormal scheme, so I wouldn't know much about this, but I know a lot of you are very interested in this type of topic, so I knew that you all would enjoy this. So when Kelouyi told me, like, yeah, this is something that people would love to hear, and I was like, okay, well, I think we can work something out. So I told her, like, obviously now wouldn't be a good time, but maybe we could do, like, after my birthday maybe. And so she was like, okay. So we planned a good time. And I think it's a perfect time, Saturday, over the weekend. You get to stay up late, hear some spooky stories. It'll be fun, guys. Yeah. Before I start, though, guys, I really want to just mention, I'm so sorry I haven't, uploaded the Discord yet. I've been working on the Discord a little bit, but I haven't really been able to finish it. So I'm still working on that. It should be released sometime next week. I'm gonna make a post about it and I'll send over the link. It'll be really fun, guys. Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for coming, guys. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm gonna add you now, Kelouyi. I know you're a little nervous, but I'm here for you, okay? I'm here. Hold on, gosh, I cannot scroll through. It is so hard. Okay, I got you. So yeah, just let me know if you can hear me, okay? Can you hear the, yeah, you can hear, right?
Oh my god, okay, yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh my god.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
That's good to hear.
Logan's just next to me, laughing, because he felt so bad with you trying to pronounce my name.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know. I actually, the reason why I know is because, I embarrass myself so much by saying the wrong thing. I just don't want to, give you secondhand embarrassment, you know what I mean? Because the way I say it, I know it's wrong. And I don't want to say it because then you're going to be like, Julia, what the heck?
No, I've heard worse. Some people just give up and they're like, we're going to call you Kyle. I'm like...
Kyle? What?
Oh, I'm serious. I'm so serious. It's a real thing. Every
oh my
day.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's my real name, but it's a pronunciation in Chinese. But initially, I'd spelled the pronunciation wrong, but it was something that was unique on here. Nobody else had a username similar to mine. So I was like, you know what? We're going to keep it.
All right, okay. Well, I just want to first off say thank you so much for coming on here. I know you've been telling me for weeks about how gosh, I know you're struggling on finding someone. I'm here to help if you need it. And I know I've always just been there'll be a time, don't worry. I just haven't found a good time, you know what I mean? So I really appreciate you, planning this out with me. I'm really excited for this.
I really am too. It was nerve-wracking, but for sure.
When I first started my podcast, it was extremely nerve-wracking. But now I'm to the point where the last thing I'm worried about is getting nervous. It's just pain, like, like stomach pain that I have to deal with now. It's not even like being nervous anymore. Not good,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Felt.
All right, so can you explain to us a little bit about like what you do? Because I know like we haven't really gotten into the topic yet, but I think that this is something a lot of people might want to hear. So why don't you mention it?
Yeah, for sure. So it started like when I was really little, when one of my uncles had passed away. I was probably, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 from what my mom has told me in the past. And she said that I was in my room. I was like playing with my little toys. It was early in the morning and I was talking, but it wasn't like I was like talking like playing. It was talking like I was talking to somebody almost. And it was kind of strange because it sounded like it was like personal. So she asked me like, who are you talking to? And I said, well, talking to my Uncle Leo. And she was like, I'm sorry. She's like, excuse me? And so she's like, is this who you're talking to? And like showed me a picture. And I'm like, that's him. And I'd only met him once. And I was like an infant. So like, there's no way. So it was a very strange thing for me. And it kind of just got worse from there. Because my old house before I had moved into the ones that my parents currently live in now, which is where I'm at after, all that stuff I told you about personally. But this house is definitely haunted because there are some people who still live in this town that have lived here for a long time.
Which house is this that you mentioned?
It's a very big house. It's almost like kind of like what the middle class rich people would have had back in like the 1800s.
Yes.
So it's very old.
Okay, very old. Noted.
Yeah,
so it must be
old.
spooky. It must be a little bit scary to witness.
Oh, yeah. Because that also connects to what I'll talk about later with a lady who knows a little bit about this house. And she told us that it's haunted. There are spirits here, and she's even willing to like talk to me about it and like tell me who it is that's in this house to confirm what I've been seeing. But after that, it's gotten more intense. Like when I was little, at this point I'm like 8 or 9, and I'm like running around the house, like the living room, the front room, and there's these like little pocket doors you can open and close, like for privacy and stuff. Because back then, this house actually used to be a college dorm for girls.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I was running around closing the doors, and I guess I was like almost laughing, and my mom asked me like, what was I doing? Well, at the time, I had mentioned seeing a shadow person, like a tall shadow man with like a top hat, just extremely tall.
Yikes, the top hat is what gives me the chills.
It's a signature look there. And my mom, didn't want to scare me. She was like, it's just your imagination. You're fine. I'm like, all right, I'm fine. I'm just a little kid. I'm just going to do my thing. But I was running around, and she said, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just playing with my imagination. He's running around. We're playing like tag and hide and seek. So I'm playing with this spirit. I'm like playing tag just casually. And I think nothing of it because my mom told me it was my imagination, so I wasn't scared anymore. Meanwhile, she's like, having a stroke.
Wow, so she's...
But it only gets worse from there.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I just saw that someone tipped a lot to the podcast. Wow, that is,
I saw that.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Thank you so much, Controls. I really appreciate it. So much. You did not have to do that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that because that is a lot.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. But, so I guess my next encounter after that. So my room also has a room connected to it. And when I was little, it was my little toy room. I had all my little Barbies or whatever. I was playing in there, and there was this little car. I have a little car, and, like, there's little buttons on it, and you click on it, and it, like, makes, like, a noise, either, like, a honking noise. There's another one that had, like, noises of almost, like, a family talking, like, they're on vacation or whatever. It was an old toy, and it was next to me, but I didn't click on the button, and I hear, like, a child's voice, like a little girl, and she just, like, says, hi. And I will tell you.
That's on the doll, or is that, like, in a machine?
I've never ran so fast in my entire life. At that moment, I was like Usain Bolt. I was gone. It was just your imagination excuse was used again. And I'm like, this is not my imagination anymore. I just kind of went with it. I was like, okay, fine. But I knew. I was like, no, something's not right. And all my life, I've had severe anxiety.
The thing is, some people are, like, really afraid of, like, dolls because, like, their scary eyes, but, like, I've never had that encounter with, like, Barbies. Like, the reason why, like, I'm so picky, or I was so picky with my dolls is because, like, I didn't want the scary eyes. Like, when I was playing with my Barbies when I was younger, I was like, okay, I don't want the scary dolls, I want the actually pretty-looking dolls. So that's why I used to play with Barbies most of the time. I didn't like the other ones because they look so freaky.
And that's the weird thing about me. I played with Monster High dolls, too. Those were, like, my favorite.
Yeah, I had a few of those, yeah.
Yeah. My cousins would always think that I was kind of the weird one. I was the odd one out, but I was like, maybe I'm just smarter than all of you, and I have something that you guys don't. So don't come at me just for what I play with as a kid.
That's adorable, though, the doll thing. But, like, no, that's freaky. Like, it spoke to you, or, like, what did it say?
All it said was, hi. Just like that.
Just hi.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, oh, no. And I started to kind of figure out which doll it was. It was, like, one of my little ghost dolls that I had. Because every time I had a friend over and we'd be playing with those, I distinctly remember that doll moving around my room.
What type of doll was it?
It was a Monster High doll. Go
figure. Was? No, the Monster High doll speaks? I don't think I've ever heard a Monster High doll speak.
Exactly, because they can't.
Oh my gosh, that is freaky.
They don't.
Someone mentioned...
Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Controls mentioned an OEG board. I can't say words right, but OEG board. Have you ever used one? Yeah, have you ever used one?
I've wanted to so badly, but my mom's like, she's like, I don't care whether I have control over you or not. Don't do it. No, like, my sister and I want to so badly, and, like, when she was about to move out of her old apartment, she was like, I have an idea. We'll use it in this apartment, and then since I'm leaving, like, the next day or so, whoever's moving into it can deal with whatever we released. I'm like, you're so bad. Like, yeah, just leave it for somebody else.
What else happened? Can you kind of mention more, like, this talent you have? Because you have always been telling me this talent that you want to share with everyone. Like, get more into it, because I totally want to know more.
Yeah. So I can see things, as I've mentioned, more than the normal person should be able to. And so just a couple weeks ago, I was down here. I had to, like, get ready for bed or whatever, and I came down here. I was hungry, so I got something to eat. And I was actually on a call with my boyfriend, because for me, this house is so old, so I'm like, kitchen is kind of scary, basement's, like, right next to it, so I'm, like, not having it. And I'm down there with him, and I thought I heard something, like a creak. And remind you, this was only, like, a couple weeks ago. And I look over, and it was super quick, but it was enough to where I could catch the details. It was like a shadow head, almost, with, like, two, like, itty-bitty white eyes, but they're just little, like, almost beads, and they were bright. And as soon as I saw it, it was gone. And, like, my cat was also sitting next to me, and my cat even looked up at me like, what? So I went over there. Like, I sprinted over to, like, the stairwell, because that's where I saw it.
Is it true that cats can, like,
not there.
Is it true that cats can, like, see spirits? I've heard something where...
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, for sure. That's why my cat is always around me when I'm downstairs. Because he almost, like, protects me.
Wow.
Because he knows. He definitely knows. He's seen things. He'll, like, stare up in a corner sometimes, and it's always the same corner. And there's never anything there, so I'm like, dude. I'm like, I love you dearly, but you're scaring me.
Yeah, so, what else happened? Because I am still a little bit curious. What happened after you saw that, like, really scary figure? Like, you could see the detail, then what?
So, like I said, after I, like, looked over, I, like, checked everywhere, and whatever it was not there. And this is the first time I've ever seen this thing, because normally everything else that I've seen in this house is the same dude, which, side story real quick, the shadow man that I see, I'm not the only one that's seen him.
Who else has seen him?
There's a family that lived here before us, and they owned it, like, generations. And the grandkids my family's in contact with, and apparently it was the brother. He apparently said that he used to see stuff in the house, and we were like, okay, well, what was it? Like, can you describe it? And he's like, well, it was this tall black shadow man. He had a top hat, and my mom's like, excuse me. And, like, we had no idea that he had ever seen that. He never said it to anyone. And we hadn't told him what I had been seeing. So we had seen the same thing. So we know it's not just, like, imagination at this point. I mean, we knew it wasn't from the start, but, like, now it's like, okay, I'm not the only one seeing this.
What do you think happened to this guy? Because you've seen him a few times.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It could be some sort of death, maybe. Because, again, this house was made in the 1800s, like, early 1800s. So it's, like, old. But, I mean, and it's not even just my house. I mean, my cousins just got a house in town, like a newer one. Well, quote-unquote new house. It's really old as dust, just like mine. And my cousin is the first person to own it outside of a specific family that, owned the house forever. So, of course, that's going to upset some things, especially because she's making big renovations. Well, I went there to kind of see how the renovations were going with my sister, and my other cousin showed us around the house or whatever, and we were in the basement looking around, because it's a big basement. It's nice. Like, I definitely see potential. But as we were walking back towards the stairs, there's almost like this little crack kind of thing in between the walls where it's almost big enough to where you can walk through. And it's just very eerie looking.
Yikes.
The first time I walked past it, it was fine. It just looked eerie. I was like, I'm not getting good vibes from this.
No, I wouldn't either. Yeah, that is very spooky. The floor, actually. The, like, really cracked floor. Yikes.
Oh, yeah. And we were walking back, and, like, my sister and my cousin are already on the stairs. I'm short, so, short legs takes a hot second for me to catch up. And I kind of, like, took, like, a glance over, and trigger warning, because this could be a little sensitive, but it's just what I saw. No people involved. Nobody, no, like, human figure was seen. But at the other end of that eerie walkway, I could even see the materials of it was a noose.
A noose? Care to explain what that means?
It's the rope that, unfortunately, some people do use to commit suicide with.
Ah, yes.
It's what they would use as a execution thing, like, way back then.
Oh, a long time ago. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, during the Salem witch trials, that's what they used. They used the nooses.
Yeah. So you think that's what happened to that man?
In that house, potentially? Because, like, I could see the material that was used to make it, too. Like, the type of rope. It was very specific. And at the time, this was still when I was figuring out what was happening to me. So I, like, flipped out. And I went to my sister, and I, bless her heart, I dragged her back over. And I'm like, did you see that too? She's like, are you okay? Like, she thought I was crazy. She thought I was going crazy. And my cousin was like, there's nothing there, dear. Like, let's just keep walking. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, you realize you're moving into this house. I'm just trying to help you. I'm like, this is going to be where you live.
You don't live there right now, right?
No, this is my cousin's house that they're going to be moving into.
Uh-huh.
So I'm free from it. I'm like, this is your guys' mess.
Yeah, thank God.
And the worst part is, the difference between my house and their house is, their house has a death on record. Like, it is proven that somebody has died in that house. I believe it was the previous owner, actually.
Yeah, that is a bit freaky.
So, yeah, theirs is like, okay, it's, like, you can't get rid of that at that point. It's there, it's obvious.
I feel like when that happens, when somebody moves into a house where, like, somebody has, like, passed away there before, that's, like, actually kind of, like, to me, that's kind of like bad luck in a sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
That just makes it automatically haunted.
Terrifying. And, like, these experiences have given me, like, almost new phobias. For example, like, when I was waiting here with you and people were joining, and for a while there were 13 people, and I felt very uneasy, almost like an anxiety attack. And then once 15 came up, so, like, 2 more joined, and just like that, it was gone. That feeling was gone. So, like, the number 13 really messes with me because it is definitely a number that is associated with paranormal activity.
Friday the 13th is actually, I heard that.
Yeah,
that's...
for example. And fun fact, for that reason, for bad luck and the fear of the number 13 and just wrapping into the paranormal as a whole, in almost all hotels, at least in the U.S., don't have a floor numbered 13.
Yeah, I've heard about that in, like, shows, movies where, like,
Yeah.
Wizards of Waverly Place, for example, had this one episode where Alex and Harper moved to this, like, wizard like floor, and it was the 13th floor, but it didn't show up until a wizard was in the elevator, you know, something like that.
Yeah, hotels, because 13th floors, I've heard, can also potentially, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure what I've heard in the past is those specific floors can become a vortex of some sort because of the number. And on top of that, also in, like, the Hollywood Roosevelt and I believe in Los Angeles, there tends to be mirrors in the hallways. And if a mirror is facing each other, that will create a vortex.
Interesting.
And that'll let any spirits in.
So it's more than
just...
just...
is the Stanley Hotel.
So it's more than just, like, paranormal activity. It's like science too, or is it?
Yeah, in a way, yes.
Interesting.
Like with the Stanley Hotel, that's in Colorado, I believe. And actually, fun fact is, The Shining by Stephen King was actually based off of the Stanley Hotel.
Okay.
Which is, yeah, pretty insane. Like, if he had never stayed there, The Shining wouldn't be a movie.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, history does have a way of impacting the future.
Yeah, for real. It's crazy. And, like, those mirrors it's like the stairway to get up to the 2nd floor of the hotel. That entire spot right there, full of mirrors facing each other. And they call that the vortex in that spot. And what makes it worse is that hotel is on an Indian burial ground. So all those spirits are just coming out through the mirrors, getting stuck in this vortex, and then getting spread out around the hotel. It's just packed full. And there's so much activity there. And that's something I really want to be a part of. Like, I really want to go there and, like, see what I can get out of it, what energy I get out of it, and see if maybe I can see anything, which I think would be cool. But anyway, we're not off topic, but a little bit off topic.
No, not even. No, I find this very interesting, you know. Also,
But yeah, I just know all this, so it's just like I might as well.
Yeah, no, no. Also, I just really wanted to mention, like that you did mention to me that something happened, like the day of my birthday. Something happened
That's
to
where I
you.
was getting at. Yeah, that was terrifying. It was literally just on Tuesday.
That's
On my way
crazy
home
that
from
it
my
happened
doctor's appointment.
on my birthday. Out of all the days, it happened on my birthday.
Yeah, I was like, it shocked me when it happened. I was like, excuse me? But, on my way home from my doctor's appointment, going down the road, kind of like almost on a highway, getting onto a highway to get to my town, and I see, like, out of the corner of my eye, like, someone had their brights on. I'm like, that's blinding. And I look over, and there was a car. But it didn't really look like a car because it didn't have a solid color. But it wasn't white either. It was almost like, in a sense, clear. So I was like, what?
It was like
And
Jello.
as it kept coming, it was not coming at me. It was like on the other side, you know. But it was coming towards my direction. And as it got closer, it was gone. The brights, there were no brights anymore. It was just gone. No car.
I just out of nowhere, you look back and it was not there.
I was watching it the whole time, and in the blink of an eye, it was gone.
Was it moving or was it standing
Yeah.
still?
It was moving, like someone was just casually driving down the road, and it was just gone.
That is very
And
spooky. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the first experience I've ever had outside of my town. It was insane.
That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah. And like I said, that happened on Tuesday. I was shocked, and I didn't even like tell anybody about it necessarily, because at first I thought, I had to have been going crazy at that time. There has to be an explanation. But like going back and thinking about it, trying to rule out everything, there was nothing that could have made that appear the way it did.
Yeah, I get
And
that. Yeah.
I'm like interested to hear if there were any accidents in that spot, which I'm hoping I'll find out.
I think that's really
Yeah.
scary. Like you're
Crazy.
driving and that's happening because like driving is like something that everybody does every day, but it's like a dangerous thing to do if you're not focusing on the road. So
Oh, yeah.
that's actually really scary. That's more scary than like seeing a shadow in a room. Like no, that like the dying is one of my fears. So like that's what I would find scary
Me
for
too.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
a big thing of mine. And it's just like all my anxiety I've had all my life, because it's been intense anxiety to the point where when I was younger, I would not come out of my room. I wouldn't. I'd be in my room days and days on end. I would go to school late, like I wouldn't wake up for it, and like it was just a mess. And after talking with another lady, it made me realize that maybe my anxiety is gonna be hard to explain at first, but I think you might kind of understand it a little bit. It's not medical anxiety.
Like mental.
Like, I take, like, some medications for it to help kind of dial it back. I mean, most people do. It's just kind of, at this point, it's almost just normal. But
Yeah.
for me, I think it's all the energy I get from people living and dead. It just jam-packs itself on me. And that's what causes me to freak out.
It's understandable, like you see things or like that most people wouldn't see, and then you're just
Yeah.
like you're feeling paranoid, like is this true, like is this real, like why is this happening to me, like I don't understand, like am I hallucinating, like you know, you just think things, and you you start to doubt yourself. So it's kind of like it's a scary moment. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's honestly terrifying. And like when I was little, again when I was younger, I remember I used to have my bedroom door open at night. I know most people are probably sitting here thinking, "Are you out of your mind?" Yeah, that's exactly what I was. I was losing it. Yeah, so people are like, "Oh no." Yeah, I left it open.
The thing about open and closed doors is that if it's open, that's because like I don't want a fire to, like, you know what I mean? I don't want a fire to keep me locked in the room, but if the door is closed, you don't want someone to barge into your room that you don't know and like take you away.
Yeah.
So it's like either or, like there would be like a there would be a consequence to each action. Yeah. So
and like for me, my room was like right at the end of the hallway. Like there's just two ends of it, and I'm on the first end, like in the front of the house. So there's that long dark hallway, and our hallway is long. So like it's just kind of eerie.
Long hallways are kind of scary.
And I remember laying there in my bed at one point. I woke up in the middle of the night. My TV was on, because I always leave my TV on at night. And I was like, I had no idea what had woken me up. And I'm trying to go back to sleep, but I heard like almost, not stomping noises, but almost like, all right, bear with me on this one, almost like mechanical stomping noises. Like it was somebody walking, almost stomping, but it wasn't a person.
I see.
It had to have been something robotic. And that's where it gets even worse from there. Because when I was younger, I had an obsession with video games and stuff, of course. I mean, I still do to this day. I love video games. It calms me down for sure. And some of the games involved animatronics, and I'm sure some of you probably know what I'm talking about. And one of the main animatronics in the game that I was interested in at the time started peeking around the corner of my bedroom door.
Lucifer said Five Nights at Freddy's or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always too
all
scared
back in 2014.
I was always too scared to play that game. Like my ex at the time, like he was trying to get me to play different games. I talked about this in my in one of my past podcasts, like about how this game was actually one of the games that my ex tried getting me to play, because I was always on the same exact freaking game. So he wanted me to play something different. So no, he tried getting me to play Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was just like, no, absolutely not.
I honestly, to this day, I still watch like old videos that were made of those games from like YouTubers that I enjoy watching, just because the gameplay and the plot of the entire series, it's confusing to keep up with, but it's so interesting because it's just something I've never heard of before, really. Like, you don't get a whole lot of plots as good as this. It doesn't get much better. At least in my opinion, it doesn't, because it's very intense, but just like really cool to listen to. But anyway, it was from the first game of the series. I saw the animatronic peek its head around my door. And I'm like, all right, I'm tripping now. Because I'm like, there ain't no way that is there. And then it keeps walking towards my door more after it peeked around. And it's like the mechanical stomping noises coming at me. And it stops right at my door. It doesn't even walk into my room. Instead, with the same, mechanical noises, because all of its limbs are moving at once, it turns around and it walks away. And I'm like, okay, that was weird. I'm going to give myself a minute before I go and shut the bedroom door in case it's still there and grabs me.
Was this the animatronic in the game, or was this like an animatronic in real life?
Like, of course it was from the game, but it was there. Like, it was in my hallway. Like, this wasn't a dream.
So it was on the computer in the hallway?
No, it was like actually there, almost like it was a real life thing.
Oh, that is very creepy.
Yeah, like imagine seeing like a spirit or whatever. It was like that, except it was almost too real.
Yeah, it
was manifested in the hallway. That's exactly what it was. It was terrifying. And like I said, I thought it was over after that. So I was like, I'm gonna give myself a minute before I go and close the door, because I I ain't gonna just be like, the minute it walks away, all right, I'm good. I mean, that's everybody in a horror movie, and I'm smarter than that. So I give myself a minute, and I'm glad I did. Because then another one, the same one, but a newer version of it from the second game in the series. And it comes same mechanical noises, almost a little bit more high-tech type of noises. And I know that doesn't make sense for some people, but it's like there is a difference in sounds.
Like a 2.0 version?
Yes, yeah. And it did the same thing. Peeked around, started stomping towards my door, and then it stopped, turned around, and walked away. And then that was the end. It was just those two, but it was like...
That is still freaky.
I'm like, so I can't play video games now that are scary without, the ghost in my house being like, hey, let's make her pee herself. Like, no. Like, it's like high school kids playing a prank on each other, but I'm like, dude, it's not funny.
It's not funny at all.
Yeah, and like I was little at the time, so I mean I was finally able to like close my door after a few minutes because the ghost was cosplaying. Oh no. I mean, you're not wrong. But like, yeah, it was terrifying. I mean, like I said, I was able to finally close my door, and then I went to sleep. But that next morning I woke up, and it almost felt like it was a dream. But then I realized it wasn't a dream, because at the time, like I said, I used to leave my door open a lot. But when I woke up, it was closed.
Did you start leaving your door closed after that?
Yes. Absolutely. That door stayed closed.
That is insane.
Like, never again.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Horrible. It was just beyond me. Because, like, yeah, I've had experiences. They're scary. But, like, that was really what set it off for me as I got older. That was, like, the final cherry on top where I was like, all right, something's up. I'm like, it's getting worse. It's getting more intense. And as a kid, like, my mom would always be like, you need to take your medicine or whatever. I'm like, okay. I'm getting there. Kind of wouldn't, because, kids don't like taking medicine. But then when I'd be home alone, and, like, I was probably about 11 or 12, I'd be home alone, and I'd hear my mom, like, her voice yell, like, my name, and be like, come downstairs, come do this, come do that, or whatever. And something fell off, because I was like, wait, aren't they gone? I was like, no, she's probably home now. It's late. I go downstairs and nobody's home.
So your mom wasn't home, but you thought you heard her.
I heard her clear as day. It wasn't even like I think. It was I heard her. That's what made it that more terrifying, because it was clear as day. Like, I could have probably gotten it on video if I had been videotaping at the time.
That is so crazy. If I thought I heard my mom, I'd be really freaked out yeah.
And that's what, finally, I put the puzzle pieces together, and I'm like, okay, most of the spirits in this house are good. There are 2 for sure that I know of now, but then after that third appearance from the stairwell, then I realized there are 3. At least 3 that I know of personally. And that third one that I saw, I believe to be the demon of the house.
Is there a way to befriend the good ghosts? Because I know some people, they kind of talk about that, like, their experience about how they try to befriend the ghost and be nice to it, or for the good ones, I guess.
Oh, yeah. The good ones I actually have befriended.
What do you kind of do?
The other one is newer, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
that one's also a demon.
How do you, win their approval, you know what I mean? Like, how do you talk to them?
I believe the Shadow Man, from what I've seen and how he acts, he's definitely more of a grandfather figure, so I believe that's what he was at the time when he was around. And the other one is a little girl, so, I mean, she's just a child.
Yeah.
And I guess one night when I was younger, my mom was asleep, and she tells me the story a lot, because this is how she figured out that these ghosts may not be that bad. Her bed on her side, something shook her awake, like something grabbed the bed, almost like I would have done, like shake the bed, wake your parents up. And she woke up, and she knew it wasn't my dad because he had some snoring machine on his face. He's passed out. So she was like, that's not him. And so she thought maybe it was me, like I was sick or something, and I was in the bathroom. So she went into the bathroom, and I wasn't there. And so she went into my room, and at the time I had also been on a FaceTime call with one of my friends, and I just passed out on the phone. When she walked in there, I was sitting up in my bed with my hands under my face, and my nose was gushing blood. So whoever it was, shook her awake to tell her that I needed help.
What happened when your nose bled? Did something happen?
I don't know. It was just like a really intense nosebleed because also it was like dry season. It was like seasons were changing. So it was kind of dry for me. And with allergies, your nose is extremely sensitive. So it was more just that kind of thing. But like when I woken up, my friend was like, good morning. It was like 3 a.m. So I'm like, not a good morning, hon. And like I woke up and I look over at my phone and my friend on the FaceTime call looks at me and she's like, what's wrong with your face? Like, what do you mean what's wrong with my face? You're bleeding. Like, why is my face bleeding? I don't know, you tell me. And so that's how that started. And then like not even 2 minutes later, that's when my mom came in and she never told me why. Like she hid it for a while as to how she just knew to come into my room. Because after she left my room, after taking care of me or whatever, I looked at my friend and I'm like, I don't know how she knew. Like, how's that possible?
Your friend knew?
Of course I know now, but it was a crazy experience.
Your friend knew that, like, you saw something, or?
Well, my friend and I were dumbfounded. We didn't know how my mom knew to come into my room when my nose was bleeding at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we had no clue. She's like, is your mom psychic or something? I'm like, apparently.
Weird theory, but what if you got this like talent thing from her, like what, like seeing all these like images?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking. We're thinking it runs in the family because my grandma would see things, but she didn't want to be seen as a nut job, so didn't say much. Same goes for my mom. Like when her grandma on her dad's side passed away, my mom would have dreams of her being stuck like in the house that she lived in or at the time or whatever of her passing. She had talked to her one friend about it, and the friend told my mom, when you have that dream again, tell her she does not have to stay at that house. She's free. She's free to go. She doesn't have to be stuck there. So my mom had the dream again, and she told her grandma, which, I mean, she was my great-grandma, but I never got to meet her. Like, you can leave. Like, you don't have to be stuck here. You're free to go. And after that, my mom never had that dream again.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, like, she set my great-grandma free from that house. It was insane.
Yeah, that is really crazy. And dreams are a big part of this, too, I think. Like, having dreams really connects.
Sure. Yes, they can definitely alter your emotions at night and like what happens in your dreams. They can definitely alter that.
Okay.
They're definitely a big role as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's terrifying, but it's cool at the same time. So it's hard to decipher how you feel about it. I guess it really just is like art. It's in the eye of the beholder.
Really depends. You're right. Yeah. Is there anything else you kind of want to mention? I think that like maybe when we have like maybe 10, 12 minutes left, I'd like to get some questions because I'm sure a lot of you do have some questions for Kelouyi that I would love for you to answer these questions for sure. So like, is there anything else you kind of want to mention? And then I'm going to choose a winner for our giveaway.
Oh yeah. But okay, my final remark here is I had mentioned that I've been getting in contact with a lady in my town who is the one that kind of helped me realize what was going on, and maybe I'm a lot more like her than what meets the eye. Well, this lady had also been keeping her gift from people as well, because she didn't want people to think she was crazy, throw her in a psych ward. Because,
that's understandable.
you know, back then, at least that's how most people thought. It was like, you're crazy.
Uh-huh.
But, so some old woman went missing in my town. She had Alzheimer's, so, you know, just walked off. She went missing. This lady contacted the police chief in my town at the time, whose daughter is also, like, one of my really good friends. And so she contacted the chief, and she said, listen, please do not think I'm crazy. I swear to you, I am going to be as real as I can here. I know where the lady is. And he was like, what? She's like, put me in your cop car, and I'll tell you where to go. I will take you to her. And this old lady was out in, like, a large area of woods, and she was able to lead the cops right to her. Absolutely insane to me to this day. Like, I'm like, I would love to be able to do something like that, and I might be able to. I just haven't gotten to fully tap into that part of myself.
Yeah, I think that this, I don't know what to call it, but, like, you know, you just seeing things that are a little bit scary at first. I think that, like, it's going to start off a bit scary, right? But I think, like, once you start getting into it more, I hope that, like, you kind of know how to, like, handle it, you know what I mean? Because sometimes people have a tough time handling certain things that are new or that are, like, changed, you know what I mean? Like that lady, I really hope that you can, like, use it for, like, something good. Like, maybe you will be able to hear things, you know what I mean? Like, in the future, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to start going to her for, is we're going to work together to kind of bring that part out of me, so we can really analyze it and see, okay, this is what's going on. Here's how to cope with it.
I really like that you're getting into contact with this person. You're, like, trying to use this gift for the good. I really appreciate that. I like that about you. You just, you know, you're such a sweet person, and I totally understand what you're going through. Like, things are scary in this world. Like, you think you hear things or see things, and maybe they are real, maybe they aren't. But at the same time, like, it's how you feel. So your feelings are very valid, very important. And the fact that, like, you're taking charge, I really love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm starting to think now, like, at the end of every week here, I'll probably make a post about, like, my weekly overview, like, what happened during the week as far as paranormal, like, did I make any progress? Is there anything new that I saw? Like, I'll probably start doing that.
You should totally do that. Yeah, you should, like, you should make an edit, like, every week, and, like, kind of just explain how your week went and, like, what you learned. That would be really cool. I think a lot of people would like to see that. I don't know what it would be called, like weekly paranormal activity or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm thinking about doing something like that. That'd be, like, really cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. If there isn't anything else, I would love to take some questions. Does anyone have anything they want to ask Kelouyi? This is the perfect time to ask. Yeah, this is the perfect time to ask about paranormal activity. So come on, ask some questions. Miss Obsidian, have you ever heard stories, like, from your parents about spiritual stuff that happened to you and you have no recollection of that? I've had a few of those, or stuff happen when I was a baby.
Yeah, like, the first story I had mentioned with my uncle, that was when I was, like, really little, and I had no idea that had happened. And, I mean, as far as that goes, that's about the only one that I have no memory of. But I know she has witnessed a little girl, like, in the house. Like, she's trying to get me a backpack for school, and she felt like a little girl presence by her. So she's like, oh, it's my daughter. And she's like, is this the backpack you want? And she turned over. It wasn't me. It was another little girl. But just like that, it was gone. And she was like, okay, that had to be my daughter. I refuse to believe that was anything else. But our hallway, like I said, is super long, and my room's on the other end of the hallway from this computer room that she was in. And she went over to my room, went into my toy room, which is what it was at the time, and I was sitting there on the ground surrounded by my giant pile of Barbies, which I would have had to climb my way over. So there was no way it was me.
Yeah. Metal Striker asked, have you experienced sleep paralysis?
No, I have not, unfortunately. And I know some people are like, unfortunately, like, you would want to, like, not gonna lie, I kind of want to, because I want to see if there's something there, like, it might be a good way for them to also get into contact with me. Like, it could open a new window for them to speak to me. So I'm hoping maybe that would help. So, but no, I have never had sleep paralysis, but it's definitely something I'd like to experience. So, because I'm for it all.
Yeah, no, I can kind of understand why you would want to, because it's intriguing in a sense, but it's also a little bit scary. So yeah, I do get that. I don't know if this question is a trigger warning or not, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Now, as a person who can actually see spirits, you guys are messaging and I can't even answer the question. Oh my gosh, like, I cannot keep this message up because you guys are typing. Have you ever seen a spirit that would hang from the ceiling? That's what the question was.
That's an interesting question. I have not seen that yet, at least not in my house, because I don't believe anyone necessarily died in my house. Unlike my cousin's house, who someone clearly died in there. I mean, I saw the noose there. So, like, I saw something hang from the ceiling, technically, in that house. It just wasn't a person. But instead, I guess you could call it the quote-unquote murder weapon. But I have yet to see someone hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, that would be a little bit weird.
It'd be nerve-wracking, but yeah. I mean, I've just about seen it all, so at that point, I'd be like, and there it is.
Someone did mention lucid dreaming. I love that topic. I wish I knew if I had lucid dreaming. But what about you?
That's one of the very few topics that I have really looked into, but I know I was going to talk about that with the lady that I've been talking to as well. I was going to bring that up to her and see what she thinks about it, and I'd probably use that as part of my updates, because that's definitely something that I'd like to look into. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Going into different topics is always helpful. There's always new things to learn about this experience. Of course, I've never went through something like this, so I don't really have much to say, but I found this very interesting, Kelouyi. I love what you have to say. I know it's a little bit, yeah, of course, I know it's a little bit scary, or maybe it is very scary, but I'm here if you ever need to talk. Maybe it gets too much. I'm always a message away. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm always here for you.
I'll probably end up running all the information by you, too, before I make the post every week as well. See, like, how should if this is okay, like, the way I worded it or something like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I have experience with, like, writing. So if you need help with, like, grammar or, like, you know, editing, how you want it to sound, I can definitely do that. Yeah, I'm so much better.
I about B's and D's and, like, N's and M's and stuff like that. So it's like...
I'm so much better at writing than talking, so I could definitely help you with, like, the writing sort of thing.
Yeah, that would help a lot because I'm good at neither.
Yeah. All right, guys. If you don't have any other questions, I think I would like to choose a winner. Are you ready for us to choose a winner?
I think they might be ready. Let's see. There's so many, like, comments coming in at once.
I know, there's just so many people. But no, just PM me really quick. Kind of just look around the room for a little bit. We'll take 30 seconds, guys. Kelouyi and I are going to look. And yeah, Kelouyi, just like PM me if you see anyone in particular that was probably most active in this room.
Yeah, and if any of you have any questions too, I'm always a message away as well. So, I mean, you can always message me if you have anything that you are genuinely curious about.
Yeah, that's so sweet of you, Kelouyi. Definitely. All right, guys, we're going to take 30 seconds. We're going to look around the room right now. Just 1 second. And yeah, just PM me, Kelouyi, when you find someone. I'll look around too. Sorry if you guys can hear that typing. That is so funny.
You guys might be able to hear me typing.
It's so funny.
I'm like, oh wait, they might hear this. I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. YOLO.
Okay. We found our person. Okay, great. So, a lot of you did come here to listen to these stories, and we appreciate that so much. Yeah, if you haven't, please follow Kelouyi, and she will be doing updates every week on her Paranormal Activity updates. You should definitely check that out once it comes out. So yeah, let's definitely get to the winner of our giveaway. If you want to keep doing, like, if you want to be a part of these giveaways, please follow. And I'll always I think I want to do a giveaway now every week for a special guest, because now that I'm like now that I have too much gold, I definitely want to do a giveaway every week. So this is very rewarding for me. Okay, so let me find our winner. I'm going to tip 500G. This is just so hard because there's so many people typing, but okay. So our winner is none other than Mumi. Congratulations.
Congrats.
I liked your question a lot, and you were definitely talkative in the room, and we really appreciate that. I know the gold noise was so loud. I'm so sorry, guys.
And no question is a stupid question.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Especially because I am infamous for stupid questions.
Yeah, no, me too.
So nothing beats me.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations. I know you are so happy. Congrats. Please keep coming to these, guys. If you really loved this, please come to the next one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week, but when I do, I will definitely update it. We do have a page called RJOTG, so you can follow that if you'd like. And also follow me here, because I will be doing updates on both of these accounts for the next podcast episodes. Thank you guys. Please send some hearts to Kelouyi too. She really did such an amazing job. Thank you guys.
I wasn't even paying attention to that. I'm so oblivious.
It's okay. Oh my gosh, 30 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, before I end, guys, I just want to tell you again, thank you so much for coming. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed this episode. I will be doing 2 more next week, and I will be updating them on my account and my other account, RJOTG. And if you love this, please definitely follow. Well, first off, your opinions matter, and secondly, I love you guys so much. And yeah, thank you once again. I love you all. Bye.